Ready or Not is the hide-and-seek horror comedy you probably didn't know you needed this summer. Let me tell you why you should see it. Okay, so in this movie, 21st century Barbie, she finds her modern day prince. He's a member of an affluent family who has made their wealth off of an empire of games. So the two get hitched at the ridiculously oversized family estate, and not long after the wedding ceremony, our heroine Grace learns she must partake in a mandatory family tradition where at midnight they gather around to play a game, which is totally not a red flag at all because she's playing Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So at midnight, the family gathers and Grace draws a card from a random mystery box and gets hide and seek. Soon she's running around a Scooby-Doo episode come to life as the family is hunting her with crossbows and medieval axes. Will they find her? Will she make it out alive? And will we care about why the hell these people are doing this in the first place? Okay, so now what I have to talk about is this film's trailer, because I seriously heard one person say, this trailer shows too much, and all summer, you know how many R-rated movies we've had this summer? I have had to avoid this Red Band trailer that plays in front of all of them. Every time it comes on, I ran out of the theater and I would wait. I was like, listen, I am not having this movie spoiled for me because this looks like the type of film that I could really enjoy and I don't want it ruined. As soon as I left the theater, I watched the trailer and was like, oh my god, I'm so glad I skipped it because it really does show too much. Does it ruin the whole thing? No, and I would say you have to see this movie for the bonkers ending alone. It is definitely worth the price of admission. What I like that it shows is that it does have the tone completely on point. It really does sell the movie that you're gonna get. I do think a lot of people are believing it to be more of a horror thriller, and while there are aspects there, I have to say that this is very much a dark comedy. The greatest compliment that I can give Ready or Not is that I think it's a great companion piece to one of my favorite horror films ever, You're Next. And while that movie had dark comedic elements in this horror thriller scenario, ultimately You're Next really goes full horror, even if there are laughs throughout. Whereas Ready or Not, I think is the more comedic sidekick to that film, if you get what I'm saying. This film is very much more concerned with making you laugh, which I had a great time with. I was laughing probably more than I have in a theater in a while. This movie was absolutely hilarious in a very dark sense. But again, I was laughing out loud, and I was with a pretty rambunctious crowd. My theater was packed. It was a small theater, but it was packed. And maybe some people were a little more vocal than I would have liked them to be, but people really had a fun time watching this movie, which is why it was almost a disappointment for me. I would definitely recommend this because I think a lot of people are going to have a fun time with it, even if it ultimately doesn't scratch the itch they were hoping it would. Yes, there is violence in this film, but there are a lot of reviews and other critics and stuff that I've heard being like, oh yeah, this movie just has blood by the bucketful. And if you're a horror fan, no, this is gonna feel like light horror. I mean, almost PG-13 if it wasn't for maybe some of the crazier aspects of the film. And I think that's appropriate for how the film plays out. I want to set the expectations because I just think that this is really more of a horror comedy as opposed to a flat-out horror film that happens to be funny. Now, the characters in this film are quite interesting. Our heroine Grace is played excellently by Samara Weaving. She does such a good job. She really nails the progression of this character. Like, I doubt they filmed in chronological order, so you have to really give her credit for the way her performance sticks throughout. You really feel like you're watching her go through this journey, and she's great. She is so good. It's so good to see her in this role. I know a lot of horror fans know her from like The Babysitter, and it's fun to see her now as the heroine of a film, and she does such a great job, knocks it out of the park, has no problem carrying this film. I really liked Andie MacDowell in this film. I felt like she was doing something kind of weird, but I was really into it. I was like, I don't know who this lady is, but like, give me more of her. The only other main standout of the supporting group, I have to say, is the sister Emily, played by Melanie Scrofano. Hilarious! She's just the screw-up that's constantly bumbling through the whole process and regularly stopping to do drugs. It's hilarious. I just loved the way that she played the character. It really made a lot of the scenes pop where probably could have been an annoying character, just being stupid. She was a highlight for me. So the idea of a hide-and-seek horror film kind of sounds like a whole bunch of fun and like there should be plenty to work with. Unfortunately, what I have to say that just didn't really thrill me about this film is that I feel like there just is a lot of spinning of the wheels with this concept, and there's just a lot of hiding and seeking with really little action. The film really felt flat to me when it got to its thrilling aspects because I just felt like I was seeing sequences that I've seen before in pretty much any film featuring a woman in peril. They regularly waste surroundings and weaponry and things about the house that you can be using in order to punch up this film more, and I just felt like, how can you waste all of this? The film has excellent production design. This mansion they're in, amazing. You just expect there to be so many different little things that you can do. However, I saw the most action in a dumbwaiter. I just feel like the production design was wasted. It's like we moved from kitchen to bedroom to here to hallway, and it's like it just kind of feels like it could happen in your own house. That might be scarier for you, but for me I just felt like it was distractingly uninspired. And throughout the entire film, we're focusing on all of these rich assholes who suck and pretty much are all different versions of the same rich asshole archetype. But it annoyed me because characters just kept doing the same thing over and over again, and then by the end they would just do something different. There isn't enough of a journey in between in order to make the switch work. It just feels like it's convenient conflict thrown into the film when it needs it. But again, I cannot stress it enough. This movie is meant to be seen in the theater with a group of people because you have to see how this movie ends. And maybe you'll see it coming. I feel like depending on the way you look at it, you'll be like, okay. For me, by the time we got to the end, I really wanted it to go the opposite of the way that it did, and I can see the filmmakers thinking that would be the safe route to go. However, I kind of wish that was what we got, because ultimately I feel like the film really undercuts itself. It's really insane, and have fun with it. Ready or Not is a good time at the movies that I definitely suggest. I don't want to feel like I'm just harping on it because I feel like I did, because I really did enjoy it. And I definitely think that people should see this film because it's a good time. You're gonna have fun with it. And I'm gonna give Ready or Not a 3 out of 5. It just didn't reach a thrilling level that really got me. I had fun with it. However, had it not been for the ending being what it was, I probably would have been middle of the road and disappointed on this one. What did you guys think of Ready or Not? Let me know in the comments below because there is a lot to say about this movie. Feel free to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and I'll see you in my next video.